Welcome everybody to today's session. I just saw a question and I just put it now. अभी अभी थोड़ा देर पहले मैंने क्वेश्चन डाला. I was just planning to ask one question. एक इच्छा थी एक क्वेश्चन पूछने की. What is the meaning of परिपक्व? परिपक्व का अर्थ क्या है? और what is the meaning of ripeness? क्योंकि हम ये सुनते रहते हैं ये सब वाक्य. We keep on listening to all these things, but we must know very accurately what are these things. Centered. What do you mean by centered? Being blank. Being blank is mature. Paripakva. So if you are blank, then how will you be able to function in this world? We are talking from world point. हम लोग संसार के हिसाब से ही बोल रहे हैं. Being in state of awareness, ripe, ability to understand and digest higher truths. Okay, good. The middle path. Example of Raja Janak. Raja Janak, Raja Bhartrihari. ये दोनों राजा हैं. Are two extreme points. Exactly. Paripakva means complete vairagya. But we cannot be vairagis, right? हम लोग जगत में हैं. पूर्णता से वैराग्य भी नहीं आ सकता. पूर्ण वैराग्य is blank. We cannot be blank, right? I was looking into Tripararahasya because next scripture क्या करे, but Tripararahasya is too deep, too very deep, and एक महीना में भी खत्म नहीं होगा. It cannot be done even in 1 month, even if you sit 3 hours. So I'm trying to redevise that. I was thinking it can be done earlier. 15 दिन तो impossible है. The next scripture that came immediate to my head was राजा भर्तृहरि. Like राजा जनक ही was. वो भी राजा जनक जैसे ही थे. राजा भर्तृहरि विक्रमादित्य के ब्रदर भाई. He wrote Vairagi Shatakam. Are we ready for Vairagi Shatakam? Vairagi Shatakam is a very deep document. Paripakva, Purna Paripakva it is. Complete ripeness. Ripeness in the sense, next step you are there. As close to that. Bungee jumping. One step and you are there in the free fall into the self. But that needs again that kind of depth in our lives. I don't know if you are ready. When I go to Tirunamalai, Ramanashram, I see many Paripakvas. माहौल बहुत अच्छा लगता है. And they are not very oldies. बूढ़े लोगों की बात ही नहीं कर रहा. Young people, young generation also. And not just men, even females. आपको ये नजारा दिखेगा. If you go to Ramanashram, you will see many Paripakvas sitting there. Ripe. Vairagya Shatakam. Now, I am not telling everybody should come into Vairagya. I don't advocate that. मैं वो बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैं स्लो बात कर रहा हूँ. नींद आए तो सो जाओ जाके. You can go and sleep. But I'm telling that is one point, extreme vairagya. But we are talking from our worldly पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑल्सो, जगत के हिसाब से भी, जीवन के हिसाब से भी, परिपक्व. Some of you said staying in awareness, being neutral, aware of inside and outside world, more receptive to wisdom and stabilized path. Receptive to wisdom and stabilized on the path. Okay, receptive to wisdom. कुछ लोग receptive to wisdom, they're saying. Some are telling even the ability to digest the wisdom. Good. One who can put the ego aside. Now we are talking, when you talk with me, be very practical. हाँ? मुझे dialogue नहीं चाहिए. You hear from here and there all those concepts. Let us talk practical. Can we put aside our ego? What is ego? Just imagine without ego how life is. Can we do that? Ego, if it has to be completely put aside, it's a state of blankness, vairagya shataka. Like Raja Bhartrahari, Raja Janak. Who can do vairagya like this, including their own ego? We saw in Ashtavakra Gita that paripakvata kitni hai. But again, I'm talking from our point of view, from the worldly point of view. Can we do that? Let us talk what we can do. Jivan Mukta, being neutral, detachment, pre-final state. वो क्या होता है? Mastered as not to vacuumed in the world and have heightened viveka, able to see through beliefs, concepts. Yeah, absolutely. Paripakvata means that. Paripakvata means the ability to come to stillness at will. जब भी आपका मर्जी करे, जब भी आपका मन करे, आपकी इच्छा से, you can enter into stillness. Stillness means निश्चलता, blankness. It is a state of no desire. Mark my words, I'm saying it's a desireless state, परिपक्वता. अभी आप कहेंगे desire is not easy to give up. We are not talking about giving up desires. Can we come to that state? Where at least for some times we can be desireless. That state is called blankness. Entering into a state of blankness. Ability to enter any time at your will. I call that as ripe. You might be in the world, you might have responsibilities, you might be in samadhi at will. You should have complete command over your being, whether to enter into samadhi or come out of it also, even come out of it. Not being able to come out of it is weakness. In level 2, Arunachala, we were very particular on this, if you remember. Ki the moment you go very deep, 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever it is, jitna bhi samay lage. The moment we say open your eyes, jitna bhi gehra ho, you should be able to immediately open your eyes. If we say, oh, upar, aank upar, Shambhavi mudra, I'm not able to come out. Nonsense. You don't have command yet. Many people, when the meditation ends, also they might continue. See, when you have an opportunity, fine. But when we are practicing, when we are doing some certain practice, when we say, Let's open our eyes. We must be able to open. Let's close our eyes. We must be able to close. That's what we are practicing. At will, going in, coming out. Everything at will. People sometimes get so involved in spiritual practices that उनका कोई काबू नहीं है उसपे. They cannot control anything in their life. Anything. Entering into deep states of trance, not be able to come out of it is not good. So we are talking about having control completely on whatever you wish to be done, whether even increasing and decreasing the states of awareness. I want to now be in 80% awareness, 20% the mind, because 20% mind work I can do. Immediately I tune and stay in 80%, and 20% whatever is required. Or 5% mind, 95% awareness. Or 90% mind, 10% awareness. Too much of precision work is there. So I need a lot of attention, mind here. Mind ego is needed. So I can bring it to 90%, fully alert. Awareness has gone back. I'm aware, not disconnected, but I'm aware, connected yet. Those states are called rightness. We must strive for that. I was thinking about this only. I was in Ramakrishna Ashram today. I just came from there. I was meditating there. Just I. So I had this thing going on about ripeness, state of blankness. And same time, one of the participants sent this message. Just 10 minutes back only I saw that. In one of the retreats I attended, she had attended the level 2 retreat last. So after she came for that retreat, she went back. Now she writes that if she's sitting, she is able to get into samadhi easily. So I'm answering her question only. I put it up like a post. मैंने post डाल दिया because it reminded me, oh yeah, we are एक retreat आ भी रहा है. So एक advertisement भी कर दिया उसका. Promotion. Question का promotion कर. Now that question also, if you see, it's related to what I just asked. Like she says, I go into samadhi and I stay there, but how long? How long can we stay in samadhi? Are we even aware that we are in samadhi? Are we even aware we are blank? Is the question. Most of the time, what we talk about samadhi is unconscious samadhi. We prepare our mind to a certain level and then drop into blankness. उसको हम समाधि कहते हैं. That is samadhi. So the question arises, if I sit in samadhi all the time, because what is samadhi? Blind mind is blank. Malolaya. Mind has got completely dissolved. But it is temporary because I come back also. After samadhi, I come back. So manolaya is temporary. Then she asked the question, but you also say that. Not, I didn't say that. Ramana says that. How long also you sit in samadhi, it's not going to help you. You sit for hours, for days, for years. You cannot attain self-realization by samadhi. That's a paradox actually, because many of the time we have just heard, हमने हर बार सुना है कि meditation, self-realization, mukti, moksha, samadhi, and we link samadhi to mukti. Yes, but it is temporary mukti. temporary liberation, because you will come back again. Every night you go into samadhi. When you are in sushupti, जब आप सोते हो, when you are having no dreams at all, dreamless state, उसको सुषुप्ति कहते हैं. When you enter into sushupti state, deep sleep state, that is called samadhi only. So at night also you are entering into samadhi. So there only it's obvious. Every night everybody is sleeping, even a non-meditator, non-spiritual person also is sleeping. So if they keep entering into samadhi, are they going to attain moksha? So whether a meditator or non-meditator, you enter into samadhi is only the temporary dissolution of the mind. Laya. Man ka laya karna. But the vrittis don't die in it. Vrittis will come back again. The moment mind opens, it will come back again. We have seen in our practices. In Chidakasha retreat also we are doing this. Tiruvannamalai also we do. To practice conscious awareness during sleep. As you sleep, you become aware and you sleep consciously so that you can watch yourself falling asleep. You can watch yourself or you can watch your last thought. If you are aware of your last thought, you will start noticing that when you wake up, the first thought is the same thought, which was the last thought during your sleep, when you entered into sleep. So, the last thought that you enter into sleep, after which you drop into sleep, the last thought, आखिरी विचार जो है, जिसके बाद आप निद्रा में जाते हो, आप ध्यान से देखोगे तो जब आप उठते हो, when you wake up, उसी विचार से आप उठोगे. That's how the thing is. Now, why does that happen? I'm telling people to practice this so you will understand. This is the phenomena of manolaya. Manolaya means mind is dying here also in sleep. In samadhi also same thing happens. If you become very conscious, the last thought that you have before samadhi will be the first thought when you wake up from samadhi. So what is happening? In between the gap which is there, where the mind is disappearing, the man विलीन हो रहा है, the vrittis are going with it. Vrittis also are submerging with it, but when the mind awakes, the vritti is still fresh there. It is just like I often say, this mind is a room, and you can see my hand is up now. If I put out the lights for a moment, let's say like this, lights gone, it's pitch dark, and then I on the light again, and there, hand is still there. But because mind has gone off, the last action you cannot see, so my hand is frozen there. Thought is frozen. So when the mind ons, the thought is still there. So the contents of the mind are there, but the light switches off. That content of the mind is what we are referring to as vrittis, or which are thoughts. These thoughts only are your samskaras or psychic impression. Out of psychic impression only thoughts are created. Psychic impressions are created from karma. So basically, karma, psychic impressions or samskaras or thoughts, vrittis, whatever you call vikalpas, they are all contents of the mind. They cannot be removed just by switching off the light. So off means samadhi, and oning means coming out of samadhi. That's the whole nature what Ramana is trying to explain in Arunachala Tattva. So the only way he says in Upadesaram very clearly explains the only way is to put the mind to rest permanently. Permanent. Now, how do you put this mind to rest permanently? By eradicating the very source of why the mind is alive. किस वजह से मन जिंदा है? क्या तत्व है जो मन को जिंदा करता है? क्या तत्व है जो अगर नहीं है तो मन नहीं आएगा? इफ दैट इज रिमूव्ड, द माइंड कैनॉट एग्जिस्ट. दैट इज कॉल्ड अहम और ईगो. Because ego is there, the mind comes. So the whole idea is to remove that ego so that the mind does not appear only. That is called manonasha. Chidakasha Gita also, Bhagavan is talking about manonasha, destroying the mind. That is why minds, Gyanis are mindless, he says. First verse. ज्ञानी को मन नहीं कहते हैं. First verse, चिदाकाश गीता में. Now the way to do that, manonasha, is self-inquiry, which even you can see in Yoga Vasishtha. Bhagavan Ram learned this practice, destroying the mind. It is called self-inquiry or Atma-vichar, which Ramana again brought it, revived it very clearly, which we learned already. We have done webinars on that. We have done it in some of the retreats also. Updesh Saram talks about it. Now that's exactly that question about. Whenever you go into samadhi, you're not aware. Now, if you have to kill this mind, or if you have to get into the practice of who am I, self-inquiry. Self-inquiry को ही who am I करे. Who am I means you can say it in both ways. I दो होता है, मैं दो होता है. एक असली में, एक नकली में. एक अहंकारी में और एक मेरा असली स्वरूप, मैं शिवोहम. Two faces we have. I am the real I am Shivoham, but I have jumped into another role, the false I, the ego, by which I identify myself as someone, some personality, some feeling I carry. एक बोध कि मैं कुछ हूं. I exist as something else other than Shiva Tattva or godliness. That is called ego. So who am I simply means from both angles. Who am I means who is Jake? Who is this I? By identifying who is this I or questioning who is this false I will come to know who's the real I. असली में मैं कौन? पहले नकली को तो पहचानूं. नकली का जब बोध हो जाए तब मुझे पता चलेगा ये तो नकली है. When I become self-aware, I understand I am false. So when I realize I am false, the next question will be, then who is real? फिर सत्य कौन कौन सा है? सत्य क्या है? असली वाला मैं किधर है? तो उससे पहले नकली का बोध होना है. We become aware of the false I. How do we become aware of the false I? That is what we are doing day and night. ये सब हम कर रहे हैं. Today I put a post. It's okay to be imperfect, but at least be aware of it. It's fine to be imperfect. Don't strive to be perfect because nobody is perfect. वो आएगा भी नहीं. You will only get disappointed. So don't strive to be perfect, but be aware all the time of your imperfections. When you are aware of your imperfections, work will go on. Cleansing will happen. As I told you many times, awareness is self camera. It's CCTV. It is the camera that looks and watches you as a witness. I told you many times, if this camera is on, many of our flaws will start dying without doing anything, without even removing it. Because the mind gets embarrassed when it knows something is watching it. When we do not know something is watching, that camera only you can call is that conscience. So most of the practice in shifting into awareness is just being aware. By being aware, you disconnect with the flaws. You don't encourage it anymore. आप उसको प्रोत्साहन नहीं देते हो. जो भी अवगुण दिखता है, आप उसको प्रोत्साहन नहीं देते हो. लेकिन दिखना आवश्यक है. It is important to see it. That is called self-awareness. So it's okay to be imperfect, but be aware of it all the time. I'm a bad person. I'm a liar. I'm dishonest. I'm dirty. I'm jealous. I'm afraid. I'm whatever. Let me know that I am that. What I am, asli mein. Not that if my awareness is telling you're a liar and I want to disconnect. I want to ignore. Most of the time our conscience tell us. That moment we will on the TV, we will talk something else. We will distract ourselves because we don't like listening to the truth. But if you have the courage to keep the camera on, that is awareness. The flaws will start melting. अपने आप धीरे धीरे. Just by aware. So that awareness has the power to destroy vrittis, psychic impression. Awareness has the power to freeze vrittis. So we use the same awareness to be active at all times, not just Jagrat. Why this is important? Yesterday also I said, because if you don't practice to be aware all the time, continuously, uninterrupted awareness, Bhairavi, you cannot enter into next two states of dream and deep sleep. And if you cannot enter deep sleep, it simply means you cannot enter samadhi also. In samadhi also, you cannot be aware. And in samadhi, if you are not aware, you cannot watch that ego. I'm going very slow so that you catch it. Who am I means watching this false eye and then becoming aware of the real eye. But first, you have to become aware of the false eye. You cannot directly go to the self. So, what I make people do here is practice awareness. इतना practice करो कि you become aware of this false eye. False eye imperfection. सारे गड़बड़ी, चल कपट, चालाकिया, cunningness, fickle-mindedness. Until you catch this, my dear, nobody is going anywhere. ये skip करोगे नहीं आएगा. Because you cannot even catch your concepts and beliefs. You see the struggle when we talk about your concepts, how you want to defend it, how strongly you want to justify it. That is aham. That is ego consciousness. क्योंकि ईगो कॉन्शियसनेस को सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स और बिलीफ को जिंदा रखना है. उसके बिना उसका सर्वाइवल नहीं है. False I cannot survive without the false ideas. What are false ideas? Your false beliefs, false concepts. Everything is a concept. Right from your parents telling you, you are an Indian, you are a Brahmin, you are a Muslim, you are a Kshatriya, you are a boy, you are XYZ. All false concept starts there only. Do we have the credibility to see that? We are not ready to give up our simple, foolish concepts. छोटे मोटे ही छोड़ने को तैयार नहीं. Can we go so deep where we can go and say even the gender is a concept? Because that state is beyond gender, beyond religion, beyond caste, beyond nationality, beyond all that. So to go beyond that, the willingness to give up all these concepts, that's vairagya shatakam, परिपूर्ण. मैंने बोला ना, चने का पैकेट नहीं है सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन. Though it's very easy to attain self realization, it is as difficult also. We saw in Ashtavakra Gita, Ashtavakra is telling Janaka, it can happen in a flash. Even when climbing a horse, you can attain. And Janaka says, then I'm ready. And from there, you can say how Ashtavakra is testing Janaka. If he's really ready, he is not ready. So it takes time for him to give him Brahma Gyan. But after all the tests, Janaka realizes, after becoming Paripakva, fully right, and when Ashtavakra Gita is given by Ashtavakra, by chapter 1, by the chapter 2, he is already getting illuminated, Janaka. And by the end of the Ashtavakra Gita, he realizes, yes, self-realization can happen like this. See, both, he went through both. First, he said, if it is like this, then I can get it. And he saw you cannot get it so easy. Why? Concepts. Hundreds of wrong ideas. The I is very important there. The king, the husband, the parent, everything is fully alive. The fame, the status, the name, the identification, everything is there. But as slowly everything goes, and when he's ready, completely ready, Ashtavakra Gita says, in a flash it can be done. So that needs effort. To become Janaka is not easy. Like Ramakrishna was asked by one of the devotees, can I practice like Janaka? Because Janaka is a householder. So this man is a householder, Grahastha. So he wants to justify now. He wants to justify now. Can I be like a Grahastha completely and do that? And Ramakrishna says, you don't know Janaka. He may be a king. Don't think what you see him as king. He is not a king because you do not know the tapas that he has done in his previous lifetimes to become Janaka. Because Janaka is already an awakened soul. He is not an ignorant man. He has been searching for years ways to find self-realization. He has been waiting for the Brahma Gyan very desperately for many years. Previous lifetimes he has practiced. And that is why mumukshatu, intense desire for liberation, has aroused in him. So don't directly suddenly compare to Janaka and say, if Janaka, the king, the man who's at such position, can practice the Ashtavakra Gita, Brahmagyan, can I not do that? The Ramakrishna is simply indicating indirectly to him that first become Janaka means first become right. So what is that becoming right? Again, the same question of today. The readiness, willingness to give up any concepts, any time. That doesn't come just by willpower. You cannot give up any concepts, beliefs, attachments just by knowing that you have to give up all this for self realization. जानने से कोई त्याग नहीं सकता इन सब चीजों को. Can anybody tell me how can then one just give up or be even ready to give up? What is it that is required to give up beliefs anytime, concepts, attachments? Anytime means what? Means you hold it deliberately, purposely. Some work is there, you're holding. Like Janaka, his purpose is there, like a king. He wants to be a good administrator. He has a purpose, and Ashtavakra tells, go and rule the kingdom. A self realized king. So there is a purpose, Janaka. But that purpose, it is only for the purpose he's holding that role of king. Next Kshana, he can quit it. You can see that in the start. When Ashtavakra walks into the kingdom and he's sitting on the chair and he realizes Ashtavakra's greatness because Ashtavakra answers him about the dream. Neither that dream nor this dream, Jagata, is real, but the one who is seeing the dream, experiencer. Yesterday we talked about it. The experiencer. There is only one experiencer that saw the dream and that is now living this world or dream. Experience is true. Experiencer is true. So Janaka says, wow, I know now. You are the one who knows it. I know you have come, my time has come. I want Brahmagyan from you. Janaka says, Ashtavakra says, I can. But hey, my lord, you are sitting on that throne. Ashtavakra is sitting down. Janaka is sitting on the throne, king. He said that for that, if you need Brahmagyan, you have to step down. What does that mean? Aham, ahankar. The I, the pride. I am something more than the guru. Because Ashtavakra is the guru. And he's a student. Student is sitting on the throne. And guru is standing there. If he's sitting, he's standing. Now, we are not talking about moralities. गुरु को बैठना चाहिए या खड़ा होना चाहिए इसकी बात ही नहीं कर रहे. We are not talking about that. All that formality की बात ही नहीं कर रहे. We are just telling the law of nature is it flows from higher to lower. Everything flows. See the waterfall flow from higher to lower. The tap water higher to lower. So if somebody has to catch the tap water, do they go above the tap or below the tap? Below the tap means humbleness, receptivity. If somebody has to fill their glass, they have to be humble. And below, from where the wisdom is flowing, and they have to be empty. These are conditions. Then only the full purpose is served. So he reminds, you cannot have that. because you're sitting there. And that's enough. The moment Ashtavakra says, I can give you Brahma again, but you're sitting there. The moment he says, he gets up and walks down, takes Ashtavakra and places him on the throne. Means these might look like stories. You might say, oh, he gave respect. Respect ki baat hi nahi hai. We are talking about the tattva, humility, the readiness to give up. Are you seeing that? And that is Ashtavakra testing Janaka before giving Brahma again. Is he ready? By just one question, and he's ready. Paripakva. So here we can see Janaka is pretending to be a king. He's not obsessed with being a king. Janaka is us. Ashtavakra is the Guru Tattva. That is why Ramakrishna said, you do not know who Janaka is. Don't compare him to him. Because you don't know Janaka is Vairagya. Janaka is living in the world, yet not of the world. What we are discussing he's like a Jivan Mukta. He's not yet reached completely there. He wants to know how to reach there completely, but he is awakened. He has enough wisdom. He is mature. So when we say we have to become like Raja, Janak means we are not telling to become a bhikari, to become a sannyasi, to give up everything. Because we are talking about Raja, but that Raja is a bhikari. Outside you can see glamour. Inside is empty. Why? He has a purpose. कुछ तो काम है उनका. That's his agenda. Personal agenda nahi. Divine will. So that's not the personal will, but divine will. Personal will means I have a need to do something. मेरे लिए कुछ करने के लिए मैं जिंदा हूं. आई एम अलाइव फॉर माई सेल्फ. स्वार्थ. मेरे लिए, मेरे अपनों के लिए. फॉर मी एंड माइंड. Such is not called vairagya. They cannot have vairagya. When it comes to swarth, you cannot have vairagya. When it comes for selfishness, you cannot have detachment. See, because you are earning, you are working, you are living for yourself and your people. The very reason you are alive is for yourself and for your people. How can there be detachment? Because the reason for your life only is them and you, your body and them. सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता. Janaka is living for Vasudeva Kutumbakam, for the kingdom. He is a king. वो सबका भला सोच रहा है. सर्वत्र भला. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. यहाँ स्वार्थ नहीं है. May I evolve. May I be blessed. May I be free. जब ये I आया गया. Even that desire will not fulfill properly. Because your spirit is for everybody. Janaka is living for everybody. That makes him entitled for that position. Paripakvata. So when we talk about Janaka or being like Janaka, we are just telling you wear your colorful dresses, but are you ready if it has to be given up? You cannot watch as a movie. ये फेंको ये सब concepts है भाई. This is a deadly concept. सब मूवी जैसा देखो, दिखाओ करके दिखाओ. कॉन्सेप्ट है. व्हाट हाउ डू यू नो इट्स अ कॉन्सेप्ट? बिकॉज ये ख्याली पुलाव रहता है. कहीं बुक्स में, कहीं गुरुओं ने, एवरीबॉडी हैज गिवन लॉट ऑफ ज्ञान. ये दुनिया एक रंगमंच है तो उसका फील करो, एक्सपीरियंस करो और फिर सिद्ध करो. रंगमंच है. किसी ने कहा बोल के रंगमंच मत बोलो. So here we cannot sit and tell, oh, Janaka's qualities. We cannot keep talking, tell stories about Ashtavakra and Janaka. We have to become Janaka bol raha hu main. We cannot keep telling stories about Yog Vashishta, what Ram did, what Vashishta did. और तारीफ करते रहो उन्होंने किया. It's about, can I become Ram? These are all concepts. I want to make you all fully aware. ये छोड़ दो concepts. Until it becomes a practice, it is useless. कोई काम का नहीं है. मिथ्या है, जगत मिथ्या है, ब्रह्म सत्य, जगत मिथ्या. एक्सपीरियंस है, आवाज है. आर वी एक्सपीरियंसिंग इट फुल टाइम? फिर हमें बोलने का अधिकार नहीं है इसको. जगत मिथ्या है, जगत सत्य बोलो. For all the world real, because it is real to you right now. I cannot say this body is not real when I feel it is real all the time. फिर वो hypocrisy हुई, फिर वो झूठ हुआ. So be careful until you have a direct experience of that. Never use concepts. कोई भी belief. इसलिए whenever anybody is answering, I always ask from a depth of that experience, or are we just by hearting it? Not just one. You see, all the answers are that one. That is why who am I होता ही नहीं succeed. Who am I is a useless practice for people with concepts. You want to see? Okay. Let me ask you this question. Who are you? Give me the answer. Who am I? Because you know Ramana taught this, right? Who am I? Self-inquiry. Now I'm asking you the question. Inquire karo. Find out. Who am I and give me the answer. What will be the quick answer that comes to your mind? You might either say it is ego, because now I said I is ego. Okay? I just now said I means the false I and the real I. Before me telling, you always knew I means the self, realizing the self. I want to know who am I, the real I. So the moment somebody asks you the question, who am I? Or even when you ask yourself, who am I? The answer is there, my dear, in your head. It is not an investigation. इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने का मौका ही नहीं है. आंसर ही पता है आपको. बुक आंसर है. रमणा सेड I is the self. So you'll sit with your eyes closed and say, who am I? Inside अंदर से आवाज आएगा, I am the self. I am the soul. फिर बचा क्या इन्वेस्टिगेट करने को? This is a concept. I am the soul is a concept till you don't experiment on it. अब बैठ के experiment करो. How am I the self? Are you getting it? So until you completely have awareness of that tattva, we should not talk about it. You take information, but seeker, sadhak means you're taking all teachings and working on it. Every single teaching. यहाँ दिमाग में स्टोर नहीं करना. यूजलेस है, फालतू है, कोई काम का नहीं. आई एम टेलिंग यू. जिंदगी भर आप भर लोगे इधर किताब सारे. It is useless. So even when you sit for satsang, even when you sit for webinars, even when you sit for courses, this हम जो ये गीता वो गीता, so many अष्टवक्र गीता, अवधूत गीता, चिदाकाश गीता, योग वशिष्ठ, whatever we are doing, it is not to gather information, mind you. Oh, I've read that book. Oh, I've done that course. Useful nahi hai. It is that every single thing that you hear, you are keen to put that into practice. You want to realize how the truth is. So I'm telling everything is a concept. Even who am I is a concept. It doesn't work. All these foreigners, they sit for decades till one because they know the answer. They will sit whole day and because I'm not judging them. They only told we are doing this practice. What do you do? And they tell we are doing it in this manner. What are you doing? I'm sitting here and questioning who am I? 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 And what the answer comes? The answer comes I am the self. And I try to find where is the self. So until we have this readiness to give up all the concepts, whatever I'm telling you right now also, whatever teachings you know till now of this guru, this scripture, that scripture, this religion, this school, that school, this guide, that mentor, whatever you know, if you have the readiness to just drop it, because what has become an experience is your experience. That's become a part. That teaching has become a part of you. You cannot drop that. But what is just floating in your head like a teaching, like a quote, you can drop that because it's useless. Nisardat Maharaj, so many things he's telling, useless. Ramana is telling, be silent. It's useless because I have not practiced silence. Can I become silent any time I want? Be silent doesn't mean don't talk. Baat mat karo. Stop talking. You can't stop talking because the mind will keep talking. मुंह बंद करो यहाँ चालू रहेगा. That's not Mauna. That is why Ramana is telling Mauna is absence of thoughts, not absence of speech. So when Ramana is telling be silent, I have to investigate what is that. When you go to investigate, you will understand, oh, it is not silence of the speech, but silence of the mind, silence of thoughts. Then you practice that. And then you say, Ramana says, be silent. आपका हक बनता है. Now you have got, you deserve to even talk about it. ये अगर नहीं है experience, do not even mention about it. Ramana says this. You do not teach it to others also. Be silent. Why should I be silent? Hey, Ramana is teaching it. Be silent. Many people have told me, be silent. Why you talk so much? I said, are you silent to tell me that? You're not silent because you can't bear somebody else's speech and you're triggered. Where, whatever. You're jealous or you're irritated, whatever reason. So you are not silent in your head and you're trying to make somebody else's silent by projecting some teachings. You don't have the right to do that. Can I become silent? Yes, I can. Any moment I want. That's what the topic is today. Any moment I want. Can I get into that state of silence? That silence is desireless state. Either you drop all your desires and become silent, or you become silent and see all your desires dropping. At least temporarily, but see it. You can see this equation you must see. How if you're in the mind, desires are active. How if you're not in the mind, desires are inactive. Desires inactive means silence. Sure nahi hai. Nischalata. So today's topic is that. Paripakva. Ripeness for us, not sannyasis, vairagis. We are people in the world. Can we shut up the moment I want to shut up? Can I shut up when I want to shut up? Can I start talking whenever I want to talk? Then you are there. That's called ripeness. Janaka can talk when he wants to talk. Janaka can shut up when he wants to shut up. Shut up means he can shut up himself like a king. Kinggiri बंद हो जाएगा. His kingship will stop. राजागिरी बंद हो जाएगा. When he wants. That is the story. Astavakra says, but you're sitting there and he says, I'll drop my robes. Throne also he can drop. He is ready to become an avadut also, that state. Now this does not come by teaching. कि वो ज्ञान त्यागना पड़ेगा आपको और you have to identity छोड़ना पड़ेगा. Ashtavakra is not giving you all the dialogue. Look, you are a king. You have to drop your until you drop this blah blah blah. Teaching नहीं है. He simply says, but you are sitting there on the throne. Khatam. He understands it. He drops it. No question, no charcha, no second thought. Rightness. So what does this give us message of today? You can put on that cloak whenever you want. You can drop the cloak whenever you want. You can become a father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister. Anytime you want. You can drop all of this anytime you want. Can we do that? That is right. That's all the practice is all about. Jivan Mukta means that. Jivan Mukta means that only. When you go for a retreat, can you drop your identity and come? Siddha Kashigita was sarcastically teasing so many. I was telling your body is here, but you are not here. You are back home with your children, with your offices. I told it's useless coming here. Wasting your time, money. If you want sightseeing, go. Ganeshpuri घूमो, मंदाकिनी पर्वत जाओ, वज्रेश्वरी जाओ. Go and roam, go dinner. But you're not ready for satsangs there. Retreats के लिए नहीं. For retreat, you have to leave your identity at the door. Leave your footwears here. लिखता है ना वैसा. In the ashram where I was working once, there was a nice footmat, doormat. It was written on that, leave your egos here and enter. Like that, exactly. Ego means identity. Retreat means that. But nahi, there also will come. I am this. Who are you? What do you do? I'm doing this. I'm into this. You are into that. I have two children. They are into that. One is into this. How many children you have? What are they into? Where are they spread? अरे यार फालतूगिरी छोड़ते ही नहीं. ये संसार लेके घूमते रहते हैं एवरीवेयर. ये सब किसको चाहिए? Who wants to know your background? Who is interested there? Only संसारी लोग are interested there to know your backgrounds. इसलिए दो संसारी मिलते हैं उधर पर किट पिट 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 like a hen they begin. They bring samsara even into retreats. माहौल खराब कर दो. They don't care. They don't care about that energy there. They don't care about what is needed there. The I should be there. I should present myself. I need to be known there. My presence need to be felt there. And I simply keep saying, who cares who you are? Purposely. Because that's not needed. Maybe we can talk all that outside. Because here we are not talking one side, vairagya. We're talking both. But jaga hai, sthan. When you're in that place for some certain work, be janaka, brahmagyan. Drop your kingship there. Nobody cares for it. Drop your army and your throne there. Then sit for brahmagyan. And after that brahmagyan, Ashtavakra says, now go and become the king. Continues. So you also, after the retreat, go wear your clothes and go back into that. But when you go back, you must be a transformed person like Janaka. Janaka is now an actor. He's doing it because he has to do it for a reason. There is a higher reason. So when we go back, we have a higher reason. Our prarabdha, whatever you call it, our so-called damn responsibilities, our so-called damn dharmas. Go and do your dharmas, but as an actor, rage, drop it anytime. So such people, what happens? They can live in the world yet not engrossed in the world. Katham. If such people are at home and they've lived their whole day, busy office, busy business, busy family, okay, attend it to all that, fine. But then you say, I want to retire for 1 hour into my space. When you enter into that space, all the things, are we ready to drop? No. You'll enter into your room and you'll still think, बच्चे ने होमवर्क किया है कि नहीं, दूध स्टव पे रखा है उसका क्या, milk is boiling there, have my children eaten, my wife or husband is going to come, what will I do after 1 hour? Oh, I have to text too many people today. I did not give reply to somebody there. This nonsense goes on. These are not meditators. This is not Janaka. This is what we are talking. Yeah, maybe they are carrying that identity. They cannot drop it at will. Half an hour they cannot drop it. 5 minutes they cannot drop it. I can assure you this. 5, 10 minutes you cannot drop your father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister. Identities. You want to be someone, even while meditating, even in that awareness when you sit, you want to carry that. Like you come to retreat, you want to carry your post, your greatness. Bad habit. It cannot make you ripe. So we are training to be like Janaka. After that, we can talk about what to do beyond Samadhi. Agar abhi bole, if we talk too much, it will become a concept in your head. Nice goody goody images will come. ख्याली पुलाव पकेगा, वो उधर पुलाव रह के सड़ जाएगा in the head. काम नहीं आएगा. So step by step. So today's question, what she asked to us about Samadhi. I'm going into Samadhi. Good. That is the first step. At least बेहोश तो होना सीख रहे हैं. At least we are learning to become unconscious from this world. Temporarily at least. चलो समाधि आधा घंटा, वो 1 घंटा. At least that much we are catching. At least there is no identity. Okay, good. That's the first step. Extend that. Extend that and make it in such a way that you can enter into Samadhi, you can come out of Samadhi whenever you want. For that, you have to practice awareness. Aware of falling into Samadhi. Aware of waking up from Samadhi. It needs practice. Keep yourself aware there as much as possible, not unconscious. That is the effort that you need. Samadhi में क्या effort है? What is the effort in Samadhi? You go blank. Anybody can fall asleep. Anybody can fall into Samadhi. No, it's not easy. Huh? Anybody means I'm talking practitioners only can do it. It's not easy. People cannot meditate. Forget Samadhi. 5 minutes, 1 minute, they can stop their thoughts. They cannot become blank. They struggle. So many people, all the spiritual giants you can see, seekers, most of them are struggling to keep their thoughts away. Here we are talking about Samadhi so easy. Good, because you guys have already done it, and for you it's easy. But it's not easy for the world. Huh? So don't take this samadhi also for granted. It's a great gift. Nourish it, cherish it, relish it. But I'm just trying to boost that it's not enough. There's something to go beyond it also. So expand samadhi as much as you can. And while expanding again, be aware of, keep yourself awake. You've seen level two, I keep giving commands and people are just going on, going on. I wake them up. Be aware and they awaken. So you can see people are going to Tandra coming out. Tandra come in that there is a voice that is telling and reminding, and you can see yourself becoming aware of that Tandra also. Have you noticed many of you? You keep falling in and out, and you are able to see that, I'm going out, I'm coming in, I'm coming out, and all these things that is a must. That awakeness should be there. Because with that awakeness, with that awareness is what you're going to do, Manonasha, for self-inquiry, to find out who am I. You need that awareness in that state, blankness. You need that one to be aware of the blank. So I won't talk anything further than that. After that, what to do, how to do, courses are there. Updesaram, who am I? But I'm telling you, it cannot come just by knowing. Even if I tell you now, it's a concept. I don't want to burden with concept. I'm telling right now what is there in our hands. We can do that. So the simple question she asked was, then how can self-realization happen if I'm already always in samadhi? It cannot happen. One example for a couple of you who are new. One yogi goes into deep samadhi for 100 plus years and he's woken up and people are celebrating. He's come out of samadhi, yay. And a mystic says, go find out what did he do after coming out of samadhi after 100 years. They go and find out. He says, I drank water, pani piya mein. How, why? Because he said, thirst. I was thirsty. I asked the moment I came out of samadhi. I asked for water. So this mystic explained, this person who entered into samadhi had the final thought of water. He had asked for water. I'm entering to samadhi. Let me have water and go into samadhi. But before the water came, he entered into samadhi. Like you fall into asleep. You might be dozing on your chair like this. And you might tell, just get me something. And before the thing comes, you are gone to sleep. But you had that vasana of water. That vasana remains sustained. Like the same thing that I demonstrated. The hand is like this and the light goes off. When you on it, it's that way only. So that water is needed. That vasana is suspended there. And thirst, water is being needed by the person. So this mystic asks, what is the use? That you can't destroy one vasana of thirst also. For 100 years of sitting in samadhi. What is the use of that samadhi? Then the deeper quest goes on to, okay, then what beyond samadhi? That's what we are telling. Even Patanjali Yoga Sutras goes only till Dhyana Samadhi last. After Samadhi, Samadhi is Manolaya. Maybe they are assuming it is Manonasha. But Samadhi directly cannot give you Manonasha. It will give you emptiness. It will give you an unconscious deep sleep. But becoming conscious of that sleep is what we are talking here. That's Ashtokra Gita. Conscious of your deep sleep, conscious of your dream, conscious of your Jagrita Avastha is known as one constant awareness, which is only known as uninterrupted awareness. Bhairavi, इसमें भैरवी जिसकी जागृत है, उनकी तीनों त्रिपुरा is awake. Tripura Rahasya is that only. The secrets of the three cities, three states of consciousness. She is only Mahalalita Tripura Sundari, the queen of Tripura. The one who rules on this three state. Rules means gone. Your awareness. Lalita Tripura is not a being outside of you. It is your awareness that is full blown awareness. Bhairavi. Shiva Sutra says uninterrupted awareness is Bhairavi. So awareness is what you guys are practicing now. More awareness you're aware you're becoming, the more you're making the Bhairavi Jagrata. Know this, Bhairavi is not outside of you. Your awareness only is Bhairavi. The more you keep her awake, aware, the more you're making her alive. That's why I say have multiple samadhis, extend samadhis. But be aware, Bhairavi ko Jagrata rakho, samadhi. That Bhairavi only can do Manonasha. Because you need Bhairavi for Manonasha. You need that awareness to do the practice of who am I, self inquiry. And we explained this in Upadesaram and who am I sessions. Key, when you do it properly, and I'm not talking about the technique here, but if you do that properly, the Manonasha that happens, a part of you that keeps disappearing every time, that part of ego that is annihilated every time, that is irreversible. Manolaya is reversible. You go into sleep and you come back, but you keep going into Manonasha, it is irreversible. Part of you dies every day. That's how you move towards mukti. The part of ego has to weaken and weaken and weaken and weaken and weaken. So what you're doing in these practices, you're doing it perfectly. But when you're awake, you're killing that ego by killing the concepts and beliefs. You're helping yourself. So don't be a burden on yourself. When you say, no, concept rakhenge, is too difficult for me. Attachment, more, all these things, I'll keep it very active. बाद में practice करेंगे. What is that? बाद में we will practice the Manonasha. It will become a burden. You can't go directly into Manonasha because इतना खिचड़ी भरा हुआ है अंदर. You cannot enter samadhi. Too much overloaded. So you must help you. That's what I'm trying to do. All this months and years. If by practice of awareness you reduce the load and at the same time activate this Bhairavi, then it becomes easy for higher practices. So the question that she asked was, how can I move towards self-realization? By this way, by being aware of that samadhi. Practice again. Night also, when you sleep, when you wake up, practice before going into dhyana, after coming out of dhyana. Why do you think I say immediately after you coming out of meditation? Why do I say don't disconnect? Because एक गंदी आदत है हमारे अंदर. मेडिटेशन हुआ, what the hell, उठ के चले गए. Very bad habit that is. You cannot bring uninterrupted awareness. You cannot make the Bhairavi active. That is why I make you practice the Bhairav Mudra. Then you open your eyes, keeping the same intact experience and then closing and or whatever that process is. All these practices, if you do very sincerely and nicely, you'll see a great changes happening. I know you all are doing because that's the reason why she said just one retreat and able to enter into samadhi. Because I know her. She is not somebody who will enter into samadhi. She carries the whole world with her. She's very excited, very bubbly, fun loving, things like that. So it's not easy for her to get into those states. I've seen her there. But if she's saying that she's now able to just sit down and get into samadhi, it's a good achievement. That's what these practices and your sincerity can do. But उसके लिए भी कितने पापड़ बेलने पड़े. Level 2 में so much of strictness has to be there. As the people who are there. So strict. पंछी भी पर ना मारे. Not even one flutter to be allowed. Then mind comes to that kind of a state. Because we are so habituated with these programmings. And how much time I spent breaking those concepts. Even the concept about guru, about paths and lineages and yantra, tantra, mantra, you cannot go anywhere with all that stuff. They were all mature only because level 1 they have done, level 2 they had come, but still kahin na kahin to रहता ही है. So there I had to keep bombarding and chiseling that literally. Because when everything falls apart, it's so easily you sit and close your eyes and you're gone. That is called meditation. If you ask me how to meditate, I say close your eyes and go. Gone. No steps only. What is there for steps there? Hold your nose, hold your eyes, put your eyes up, and then deep breathe, sit straight, spine erect, Padmasana, this asana, that asana. And Nityananda calls that as circus feet. He says it is cinema performance. For rolling your eyes up, holding your nose with one thumb, breathing in, holding your breath, putting a knot in your tummy. Nityananda says these are all circus feats. Cinema performance. This is not samadhi, he says. Read Chidagasa Gita. Exactly, he says this one. This is not samadhi, he says. Samadhi means blankness. So we have to ready ourselves with all these practices and make ourselves so right that wherever we sit, we just go. Wherever you put your asana and sit, or without the asana also, you sit. Wherever you sit, you close your eyes, you're gone. There is no time for invocations. Step 1, step 2, step 3 processes. Struggling with your mind. These are all basics. Advanced means you sit, close your eyes. Within a few seconds, you just disappear. And that comes with deepened practice, repeated practice of all this, what we are doing. So many things we are doing here. If you make yourself available to that and very sincerely do it, you'll see great changes. So, samadhi is the first step. That's good. Then extending that samadhi as much as possible. Then being awake and alert, even in samadhi. You can do it sequentially or you can do it all together. Even from right step 1 only, when you're practicing samadhi only, if you are aware, practice being aware. Good, very good. So this is one answer that I gave. The other is what we are telling about ripeness. Two types of ripeness, I said. One is tivra paripakvata. That is the final ripeness. Vairagya Shatakam of Raja Bhartrahari. But we are not talking about sannyas. We are talking little practically. So what is the paripakvata here? What is the ripeness here? Readiness to drop anytime that role, that identity that I hold as this. For that, I'm telling again and again, become aware of your falseness. ये अगर तोड़ना है, this dropping of clothes like Janaka, switching, we must know to switch. Right now I'm sitting here, I am acting like a teacher. The moment I off it, I'm no teacher after that. It cannot be, that's madness. If I carry in my head, I'm a teacher. That's dropped. That role is gone. Whatever next role, you pick that up, then drop it. That's called picking up these identities only to play that performance, which you call as prarabdha or dharma or responsibilities or so and so, whatever, but not being entangled in it. Who can be stuck in this? Those who carry that identity everywhere. Oh, I am someone. That someone identity who waking everywhere we move in and out. Those who live in divine presence, what we did last Sunday. They are identityless. Presence is identityless. So it's like you are putting on a cloak. You are presence. I am presence. But उसके ऊपर चोला ओढ़ लिया mother father का. I become a mother or father, husband and wife. But inside, I am a presence. Outside the cloak is I'm I'm being this temporarily, and I know it's for the moment. So all these roles that are there are like cloaks. And then even this whole janma feels like a cloak. ये पूरा जन्म, this whole lifetime only is like a cloak. His body, his lifetime. This identity which is born now, right now, एक identity है जन्म से लेके आज तक. That itself is a cloak. There also you're ready to drop it when the time comes. There is moha there. Whatever roles you play in this world, as a cloak with the cloaks, there is no attachment to it. Whenever the whole role from birth to mrityu, whatever is their role that you played, full role of this identity, entity, like your birth name, you will carry it till death, right? Your birth name will carry it till death. So that person who was named and the person whose funeral name also will come, same name it is. That identity, if that person can drop when the time comes, where is attachment to the body then? So what we are telling, no attachment to body, me. No attachment to people and places and things, mine. Me and mine के साथ है ही नहीं. Because this also is a cloak. Those also whom I'm attending to is cloaks. That is Raja Janak. That is Jivan Mukta. But for that, you have to be aware again and again of the false cloak. We have identified ourselves with the cloak so much that we forget that we are presence. We live not as presence, but at that cloak. All these titles that we carry. So if you have to break that, you cannot break that with theory. कल आके कोई नहीं बोलने का. Nobody should come and tell again. What is to be done if you ask? You'll say, give up the cloaks. Don't talk about it. Be that. Otherwise, this will become a preaching, a teaching. Oh, what is that? What is ripeness? Dropping. Oh, dropping, वो मन में ही रहेगा. But when am I going to drop that? When am I going to get into ripeness? So practicality, I have to keep practicing that. And simple ways I have devised from my own understanding of life. All these things which I'm putting together, different practices. It might seem like a ordinary webinar, or it might look like a session we are taking. It's not. You don't know. If you imbibe all these qualities, you will go for the higher practices very easily, because all these are chiseling. Many things we do here are chiseling away the major and preparing us for the major work. We should never be that, oh, I'll take major work directly. नहीं हो जाएगा. नाक के बल गिर जाएगा. So if you have to break this ego or identity, don't directly keep saying, I will take care of my ego. That I only is the ego there. Ego cannot kill ego. You have to devise various different ways. And these are one of the way. Become aware of your imperfections. Become aware of the flaws. Flaws, imperfections come from ego, false identity. Become aware of my mental dramas. Become aware of my weaknesses, of my moha. What did I say? It's okay to have imperfection. It is okay to have moha, attachment. I'm not saying remove your attachment. I never talk such words. Give up your attachments. I don't talk bullshit teachings. You cannot give up attachments. You become aware of it. Strongly you become aware. The more strong you become aware, the more it starts melting. Awareness grows. But we are not aware. So imperfections means become aware of imperfection means okay, attachment is an imperfection. I become aware of my attachment. Anytime I'm getting overly attached, involved, I become aware of it. Let it be there. No need to remove it. But be aware. Anytime you become jealous, I'm aware I'm jealous. Say to yourself also, hey, I'm jealous now. Hey, I'm feeling scared now. Hey, I'm in doubt now. Hey, I'm trying to be cunning now. Hey, I'm manipulating something now. Hey, I tricked someone now. Say it. This is being aware of imperfection. The more you do that, the more it will start dropping. Then when these cunningness, these falseness starts dropping, that only is the dropping of identity, concepts. And whenever you are open, whenever you get an opportunity to break concepts, don't hesitate, don't defend, don't just justify it. Become aware. Why am I justifying it? Why am I defending it so much? Why am I protecting my ego so much when I want to get rid of it? So sadhaka means sadhanas in the ego. This deep awareness. Sadhana is or sadhak is not wearing yantras in your neck and simply repeating some mantras, simply glorifying gurus, glorifying the paths, by hearting and parroting teachings and pasting it everywhere and teaching everybody, preaching it to everybody, and being the opposite of it, living unconsciously and practicing half an hour meditation there and here and thinking that will lead us somewhere. This is not a sadhak. Sadhak means one who sadhan, sadhta hai. And seeker is always aware. The need for being connected is 24 by 7, not just half an hour. The sadhak is always aware of the falseness of the mind, the cunningness, the trickiness, the flaws. It is aware of the misinterpretations of the teachings. गुरु ने क्या सिखाया और मैं क्या सीख के बैठा हूं. Sadhak is always aware of investigation with the teachings from the Guru. Not उसको books में रख दिया लिख के. And say, my Guru is Mahan. Your Guru becomes Mahan when you become Mahan. Understand that. Guru does not become Mahan by talking about praising the Guru. Guru becomes Mahan when you put that acharan में वो आ गया. Teaching becomes you. You are a param shishya of your Guru. Then even if you don't boast, it's okay. एक शब्द नहीं बोला तो भी मेरे गुरु महान. जरूरत नहीं है उसका. The real sadhaks will not talk also. They will not glorify. Glorifying means the gadabad hai. Why do you glorify? Whom do you need to glorify? The one who does not have glory. सोच के देखो. The one who does not have glory only needs to be painted. When there is no paint only you need to go and paint. जहां painted है, do you need to go and paint again? Think about it. So if the guru is glorified, he is already at that stature. Why do you need to paint all your wallpapers and posters? इतना एडवर्टाइजमेंट, इतना हंगामा शोर क्यों? पोस्टर चिपकाना क्यों सब तरफ? Because somewhere you feel there is a lack. I must advertise my guru more. I must bring him more. So the more you say, I want to bring him more, means he's less. That is why you want to make him more. समझो यार. Awake, practice awareness. You will get aware of all these things. You'll simply drop all these things. सीधे मुद्दे पे आओगे. What does the guru come to do to you? Make you aware and liberate. Are you doing that? If you are doing that, then okay. नहीं do it, nobody cares. You sing glory, you poster chipkao, you do anything and all, nobody cares. Even the Guru Mandala does not care. The Guru Mandala is not impressed by all these tricks. You can fool yourself, you cannot fool that. So understand, sadhak means sadhya, pakka hai. Sadhya means goal. Goal is to be aware 24/7, to be a Jivan Mukta, even while living. Grahastha ho, Vanaprastha ho, Sannyas ho, Brahmacharya ho, doesn't matter. They rise beyond Vanaprastha also, beyond the Varnashrams also, 4 ashrams. They don't care after a certain point. And we sit only with householder. Grahastha, Grahastha, Grahastha. Grahastha, Grahastha करके ग्रसित हो जाते हैं उधर. No Vanaprastha only in their life. No Sannyas only. Sannyas is inside. Is not outside. This is what we are talking. Janaka is a sannyasi. Janaka is a grahastha, vanaprastha, and a sannyasi. He is in the grahastha, but he is as good as a sannyasi. You can drop it, chola कभी भी फेंक सकता है. इसको बोलते हैं परिपक्व. वर्णाश्रम मतलब पूर्णता से ब्रह्मचर्य, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ, संन्यास. गृहस्थ में अटक के चिपक के लटक के रहना नहीं है. अंत इसका गृहस्थ में नहीं होता. In every life, when you finish, you must approach sannyasa from within. You have to become janaka. Sannyasa means langot पहन के जंगल में जाना नहीं. Wherever you are, the readiness, परिपक्वता, चोला फेंकने के लिए, whichever identity. लेकिन आपको तो फुर्सत ही नहीं है. XYZ योगी, भोगी, सब टाइटल लगाएंगे. Titles only you are carrying. So until you become aware of all these things, it's little difficult. But those who are becoming aware, it's easy. Okay, so in today's session, I just briefed you directly about the depth of becoming ripe. 2 ways, as I said. One is the extreme, it's not needed. Right now, just this much, to be in the world like a lotus, not be affected by it. Then the rest will happen automatically. The other one, Tivra Vairagya, that will happen automatically. So we'll do once the Vairagya Shatakam, you'll understand. It's not that if you read that you are going to leave everything and go, but you'll have a depth of this tattva. Because in Grahas also you need to be a sannyasi. Learn from your gurus, you'll come to know. Are they stuck in that forever and ever? Look at them. It's a vanaprastha, withdrawing. वो भोगी नहीं है. ये सारे गृहस्थ जो सीकर्स बोलते हैं अपने, all भोगी है. Completely in samsara. That is not even grihastha properly. There are 2 teachings of Bhagavan Nityananda about grihastha. Read it, open the Chidakash and read it. You will come to know what it is. First of all, he tells, without knowing the responsibility of grihastha, don't get into it. He talks about the importance of vairagya in that. He talks about divine will in grihastha. Knowing that there is a higher will that's doing it, and staying connected to that. Read it properly. What we understand about Grahastha is all false or half, not even full. If you look around, Grahastha means bhogi here. Look, even 95% are all completely in that bhog and doing part-time spirituality of half an hour meditation, morning 1 hour meditation, evening read something, night do something. The rest of the time bhog vilas, lost. कुछ नहीं होगा इससे. इससे ईगो थोड़ा बूस्ट रहेगा कि आई एम स्पिरिचुअल, एक दो टाइटल आएगा सर पे एंड विल फील कुछ तो हो रहा है, चलो जिंदगी चल रही है, जिंदगी चलेगी. लेकिन व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग हियर, दैट स्टेट्स, दो स्टेट्स विल नेवर कम. वी कैन नेवर बिकम जनक. पक्का अगर बनना है गृहस्थ, पक्का गृहस्थ, रीड अष्टवक्र गीता एंड फॉलो द आइडियल कॉल्ड जनक. दैट इज अ ट्रू गृहस्थ. बाकी सब बकवास है, ग्लैमर स्पिरिचुअलिटी, समथिंग एल्स ओनली. Okay, we talked about two paripakvata, two ripeness, and we talked about samadhi. How samadhi cannot give you self-realization. People still don't understand it. Arunachala Tattva explains this very clearly. Samadhi cannot give you self-realization. It will only give you manolaya, not manolasa. Still the I will remain. Still the desires will remain. Even with samadhis. Read, understand the tattvas of Arunachala, you will come to know. This is what we do in the retreats and all that. Very clear. So with manolaya, you cannot. Manonasha is needed. Samadhi cannot give you. And what we learned in Ashtavakra Gita, no practice, no meditation can reach you to self-realization. We have talked about it. No amount of practices, कितना भी practices करो, कितना भी गहरे से गहरे तपस्या साधना, whatever you call it, you do. In that doing, you cannot come to self-realization. Go and read Ashtavakra Gita. Understand it. नहीं समझ आ रहा तो कोर्स में है. It is in the course. shiftingintoawareness.com/courses. You will see that. Go through it. Understand it. Practical spirituality will come to know. Come out of this glamour spirituality. You'll come to know what it is. So you'll realize, oh my God, practices cannot give. What is it? Oh, good question. There your journey starts. The moment you say, then what? Practices cannot give, then what? Samadhi cannot give, then what? Good question. Now your Muladhara is activated. Welcome to Chidakasha Gita. That is what Nityananda is telling. Muladhara is not in the tailbone, it is in the Vishuddhi. When that opens, you have 7 chakras in your and Sahasrara. So this 7 chakras, what we are talking, this is welcome to practical spirituality. इसके नीचे सब glamour spirituality है. Doing, 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 doing. यहाँ से non doing शुरू होता है. I am not telling go and read Chidakash Gita. It is there very clearly. This is doing, non doing zone. And actual spirituality starts there. So is this not needed? To prepare you for this, it is needed. So it's like a double diksha. One diksha is the outer guru. Second diksha is your own diksha, inner guru. From here, inner guru's guides. Muladhara down there, outer guru activates. That is why Chidakasha Gita says you have two gurus. Primary guru, secondary guru. Primary guru is your viveka buddhi, awareness. Mana buddhi, he says. And the secondary guru is the guru who gives you initiation from outside, the physical guru. So here, what is Nityananda saying? That the outer guru leads you to inner guru. Means secondary guru leads you to your primary guru. Pratham guru is your awareness, viveka, buddhi, intellect. So, okay, first guru is needed to activate that. If you have done many practices in your previous janma like Janaka, In young age only, you'll move without, and many don't need gurus after that. It is false to say everybody needs guru also. Not all the souls need. Those who are ripe, have done enough, got many gurus in their past lives. Now they can move even without. You can see so many examples. So that is why Nityananda is telling below the neck is Hatha Yoga, don't do it. Follow the path of Raj Yoga above this. Hatha Yoga is Hatha, doing. The doer is active. Raj Yoga is non-doership. ये थोड़ा कठिन है समझना चिदाकाश गीता. That is why this is what we do in retreats, Chidakasha retreats and all that. We are not meditating there. We don't do meditations there. As the people would came to Chidakasha, how many meditation? What that to one awareness we did on ourselves and on Nityananda Samadhi and connected with that, staying connected with Nityananda, knowing that Nityananda takes care of. These were the meditation which basically rest all was contemplation of Chidakasha Gita because it breaks all your concepts. See, so many things are so new here. What we have understood about spirituality and what all things you hear here. I think I should put this on YouTube. People must see this. They must understand. They will understand the path better. That there is a deeper path. Okay? It is not what you think it is. It's okay. That starting mate is too hard to digest. You cannot directly understand Chidakasha Gita. You have to understand through many other ways. You have to keep doing. And when your Chiti comes here and it activates from here, suddenly you will open Vishuddhi. It will start opening. This path of non-doership will start opening from here. From here, questions will come. Oh, you'll understand. Oh, samadhi is not enough for self-realization. Practices and any amount of meditation will not give you self-realization. Okay, from here, the new inquiry starts. Then you start getting this Arunachala Tattva. Welcome to Arunachala Tattva. So here we are learning all this only. Okay, it's not below this. That is what we are calling as Anvopaya down. This Shaktopaya, Shambhovapaya. Anvopaya is below this neck. From here to here, the yatra is Shaktopaya, which we are practicing. Shifting into awareness begins from Shaktopaya, and then from here to here, Shambhovapaya, the final one. Completely, I amness. Okay, that is all in depth. Let us not go there. We are only talking about from here to here. Gyan Marga, this is. Fine. Any questions? My camera is disabled. Kindly allow. It was disabled because it was distracting you. I think you were talking to somebody or something. So I disabled it. Then how is it possible to be in the world with all the works and experiences and complete detachment? How to become like Janaka? Do the Ashtavakra Gita, you'll understand that. Never think in one session you will become Janaka by knowing about it. To become Janaka is the whole practice. People have spent like 3 years with me on this journey. So they understand, they have understood it. We cannot understand in one stroke all these things. Multiple sessions, multiple, various angles. You have seen so much of things. We have understood. So spend time more on that.
Priya, the question is related to one of the posts which you had posted yesterday, like that ego is the like root cause of all the diseases and drop it. And
Ramanas.
yes, and there was one interaction with a lady wherein you had replied that it's not about dropping the ego, but being aware whether it's present or not. So my question, unfortunately, we talked a lot about ego in today's session, but two things I wanted to know that our each action that we do is driven by ego. So ego is always present. So how we can become aware of the mind and the thoughts. So how can we become aware of the ego? And
Why can't you
when
become
there
aware
is
of it?
the absence of ego, isn't that the only state
Why
of?
can't you become aware of the ego? Tell me.
So indirectly, it's
Why
the.
can't you become aware of the ego?
No, I mean, I can become.
Are you getting irritated? Or I'll irritate you a little more and see how the ego is rising. Why can't you watch that ego rising? How it is not difficult to watch that?
It's the mind or the ego. So I know.
Mind and ego is the same only. Mind, देखो, mind ego का हथियार है.
Mhm.
Ego cannot work without the mind. Ego will use the mind only to work. मतलब the ego, mind is the instrument of the ego. Just like
Uh-huh.
awareness is the instrument of buddhi, the intellect. Intellect operates through awareness. Ego also you cannot catch, but mind you can easily experience.
Exactly. That's what.
And awareness also you can experience. Instruments you can experience, but these tattvas that is behind so ati sukshma, you cannot. Buddhi, can you catch your buddhi and tell where is your buddhi? Tell me. Can you
Mm.
become aware? Can anybody become aware of their buddhi, intellect, and experience your intellect and tell where it is? But you can become aware. You know even aware. You can be conscious of it, and you can be aware of your mind also. But that ego,
Yes. That.
that is because it's very very sukshma. That is why I said you cannot drop the ego. You have to hold it right first to drop it. पकड़ में ही नहीं आ रहा तो कहाँ का drop करेंगे? So I said become aware of it. Aware of it means become aware of the tool, that mind. Mind, how it operates. The ego is playing in different. Ego means what? What is ego? Ego is not gamand or pride. Ego simply means a false identification. I am spirit. I'm pure spirit. I'm pure consciousness. But I carry myself as someone. That is ego. That feeling, that sensation of how I'm carrying myself as someone. That is ego. I say become aware of that. You cannot drop it, but become aware of it all the time. And today's session, what I said is the same thing. If you keep becoming aware of it, it loses power. If you don't become aware of it, it gains power.
So all the trigger points are karmas. That's why ego is different. For like we behave differently. So the question is, so everybody carries their ego, and we behave differently. Like I'll be so the root cause of behaving differently is our separate karmas.
You can say, but what are karmas? Karmas are simply vrittis. Karmas are psychic impressions only.
Yeah,
Samskaras,
yeah,
bunch of samskaras only are karmas. If you dissect karmas, they are different kind of samskara. According to one, suppose I take on one samskara right now, I behave in a certain way.
yes,
Next moment, I take another samskara, I behave in a certain way. So sometimes I'm a rude person, sometimes I'm an arrogant person, sometimes the most loving person, sometimes I'm a very soft person, caring person, compassionate person, stupid person. According to the samskaras that I'm going through, I'm changing my colors. What I am telling is, let it change colors. Let the samskaras go on, but be aware of those colors. Or be aware, or right now, I'm being stupid. Right now, I'm being jealous. Right now, I'm being happy. Right now, I'm frowning. Right now, I'm becoming cunning. Right now, I'm lusty. Right now, I'm scared. These are all the faces of ego, which is
and
not, I'm not that, right? What am I? I'm pure spirit, but I'm changing. Become aware of that, is what I'm saying.
And another thing, Bhaiya, like I tried that sometimes when we observe some behavior of ours and we say, okay, I accept this, but that is different from being aware, isn't it?
Except what?
Say, for example, I was being stupid. So if I am in a state of awareness and if I am just observing, I'll understand that I'm being stupid. So, but there are times when we don't actually, become aware, but we simply accept. So, in that case, it's the mind who is accepting.
Until you become aware, how can you accept? Awareness only catches that you are stupid. Awareness then passes. See, buddhi tells you you're stupid.
Mm.
And then the mind begins acting. It claims, it doesn't claim, it defends, it justifies, it
Yeah.
dodges. That's the mind game. But intellect will always keep showing you correct all the time. So intellect makes you aware. Awareness पहले आता है, बाद में the mind keeps playing that. Without awareness, mind cannot function.
And does that involve like cleansing also, like chit shuddhi also happens when we become aware? That is how we ultimately
Yes.
drop the
Yes.
form.
चित्त शुद्धि होता है ना.
Mm.
See, why we repeatedly do certain things every single day, and we behave in a certain way. You say, I am very stupid person, I am a very clever person, I am a very cunning person, I am a very angry person. Why? Because you are unaware. The more you are unaware, that will keep on culminating and it will become strong. But every time if you become aware, you'll see, when you are angry and you become aware, I'm angry right now, your anger will start dropping.
Yes.
So see, that is making it powerless. That is where chitta shuddhi is happening. So every time the anger is dropping, your cleansing is happening just by awareness. So if you keep looking at all the flaws again and again, it starts disempowering. That's how chitta shuddhi happens. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no much great sadhanas to do here.
Mm.
You sharpen your awareness away with all these methods. So many methods we have learned here. These are powerful methods. If you learn by that and then simply live a aware life, that's enough. You don't need any meditations. That is the life from here. Chidakasha Gita, what we are talking. Shaktopaya. You live only in awareness. But that state is not very easy for everybody. You have to do a lot of karma kand. Kand karna padta hai. You have to do so much of other, what, so many methods and things like that. Doing, yantra, tantra, mantra, all that. Then chitta shuddhi hone ke baad ek state mein you easily start becoming aware. From there, it is only awareness, non doing. There's no doing after that.
Another question, Bhaiya, about the desires. Like you asked that, is it possible to drop the desires? So my question is, like, many a times now I've consciously experienced, like, not experienced, but I'm trying to figure out, like, if, for example, I had a desire, I'll give you a very recent example. So, like, if we're looking for a bigger house, initially the level of excitement was that, okay, like it was skyrocketing. But as and when the desire is about to get fulfilled, that not motivation, but the feeling starts coming that, why I don't desire that anymore. So what happens? I mean, why this transition comes? Because I didn't
When you,
do
when you
anything.
go for a party, when you go for a party and you are hungry and there's a beautiful buffet there, and there's a buffet and there's food, and you have desire to eat food. That's what you're telling. I need this kind of a house. So I have desire. I'm going to eat there. I just want to have a good time today eating this
Hmm.
nice dinner which I'm invited for. And because it's a very promising dinner, they say it's a grand dinner. So you are looking for something grand. There is this desire. But as you go closer and they open up all the lids and they show you 200 varieties and they say 200 varieties. Somebody told me in one hotel there was 9,000 rupees ka breakfast, which is 2,200 different dishes from which you can choose. But 9,000 bucks it is breakfast. Some star hotel. So it's like that. So 200, imagine all एक ढक्कन खुल रहा है. And as you are going closer, what will happen? Think about it. Your appetite will drop very drastically. As you
Yes.
come close to the dish, from far you want to eat it, but when you come close and there is, वो छोड़ो छप्पन भोग आप बोलो ना छप्पन भोग, you keep too many things on your plate, you'll never finish it.
It becomes suffocating after a
It
while.
becomes suffocated. Your appetite also starts dying.
Yes.
That's the same. Desire का मतलब ही वो है. Desire is that kind only. So when it is far, khayali pula, when it is still in imagination, it's a great thing. But when it starts manifesting, when it comes close, you understand. You are disinterested in it or a little interested in it. There was one girl who had come for the second retreat in Tirunamalai, batch two. And she came and she was very happy. And she said, Bhaiya, when I went back, I landed, the flight landed, and my family had come to give me a surprise. They brought a new, brand new, some nice, beautiful, costly car. So they had not told me. They said, when she comes, we'll go to pick her up in that. And they came there with the bag. And she was telling, I was like, oh, a new car, good, very nice. But I'm seeing there is no joy coming out. There's no happiness coming out. And I want to show them I'm happy because they are all there for me. And then, it's a confusion. I'm trying to pretend, but my daughter is catching me. Mama, you don't look happy. And things like that. She did a retreat and went. The whole thing changed because you're so, because that's what all these you should have impact, right? Spirituality means it should have impact. नहीं तो क्या है इधर आप 4 दिन रहे and then 4 days you said something and you go back into Maya and all this and it catches you, grips there. What is the use then? So I said that's good because that's how it's working. So the same thing. Somebody else said, Bhaiya, we can't uh, afford a car in Singapore, and it has always been my dream to buy a car. And somehow uh, I did those manifestation stuff, and it manifested. But when it came, there is no value for it. I don't feel like anything. It was once upon a time like a dream. Now, so that's very common on this path. When we go in this path, when we are practicing these things, when we are rising about these things, from far it all looks very lucrative, but as it comes closer, that's the nature of the mind. Okay, for example, somebody falls in love with somebody. Oh, so you see what the mentality is? Wow, it's like, you can't live with without that person, and without a moment of texting, you can't, without calling, you cannot survive a day, and get married. See what happens there? That's the thing. Bhoga means that when you actually experience it, you come to know the falsity of that. You know, from far that is what is called Maya. From far it looks like that, but when you actually are in the bhoga of that, or when it is very close to it, it loses its credibility because many of the things which was looking very lucrative is no more lucrative because now you're seeing things something beyond the so-called reality.
And it
So it's
happens.
like that's it.
It happens automatically.
Yeah, it's subconscious. All this is very subconscious. It's not conscious. Consciously हम ये सब चीजें पहचान नहीं पाएंगे. If you're only very aware, you can catch this subconsciously. Are you happy with it, or पहले तो I am feeling this but now no excitement? So are you happy about it, or are you sad, or something is
Yeah,
wrong?
it
Something is wrong happening.
no, I'm happy. Happy, or I mean, more contented. I mean, joy, happy. Yeah.
That's it then. It shouldn't be a concern then anymore. Yeah, Tripurasi is a conversation between them, but it's very complicated. It's not so easy as Ashtavakra Gita. It's full of stories and things like that. But basically, we are discussing Tripura essay only here again and again. Whenever we are touching deep Arunachala tattvas of the three states of consciousness, Jagrat, Sushupti, and Swapna, and getting the mastery or becoming aware that one person, the experiencer in all the three states, that person whom you're catching, if you catch that person, that is self realization. That is Mahalalita Tripur Sundari, the one who reigns over all these three states. Now you can go in very complicated methods to understand Mahalalita Tripur Sundari. You can go through all those geometric stuff. You can go through the outward bhakti. You can go through many, what do you call, step by step process of mastering those different goddesses and Devi Devatas and different realms and dimensions and things like that, and then moving upward. Or if you have come to this state of awareness, you can, through awareness, simply understand that it is nothing but para. The other is what I say is apara, the yantra that you use, Mahameru, Sri Chakra, that's apara. which in Tantra sadhana is known as the lowest form of worship of Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari, Apara practices. But then Para Apara is Advait. You internalize it. And then we are talking here straight about the third aspect here, Para. I am Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari. Understanding and realizing this awareness part is Bhairavi. This one, when it's completely awakened and blooming and awake in all the states of consciousness, full bloom, fully conscious, so conscious that it knows that everything is created through that consciousness. That's the feeling of I am Mahalalita Tripura, Para. That is Tripura Rahasya, basically. So Tripura Rahasya is again the great wisdom of Lord Dattatreya given to Parashuram. Anyways, we'll see how it can be done, because there are many ways and how we can do that. It can come in a very story form and we can just read it out and things like that, or we actually go in depth like how we do for all the courses. We are going in depth and contemplating smaran karte hue deep. That is one. I prefer that. I don't want to simply give stories to aap kahin bhi padh lo. You open books, there are so many books you can read. Ashtavakra Gita also you can read. Many people, whenever I say we are going to come with this, they will go for PDF. They will hunt for PDF. They'll download it from here and there, or they'll order books and they'll start reading. So if you like reading, you can read. But here we do tapas on it. Here we meditate on it. So that's what makes it deeper. It's not about just understanding the stories. It is about imbibing that. Because here you say, we become the subject and even the object. We don't say Yog Vashishta means Vashishta is talking to Rama. I want to see what these both are talking. I become Rama there. And then I accept all the things that the Guru Tattva, my Guru Tattva is giving me. Vashishta, the teachings I download. I, the seeker, am Rama there, receiving from Vashishta. That is the way we do things. So when we say Ashtavakra Gita, we're not telling, oh, what did Ashtavakras tell Janaka? I want to know what they talked. Are, yaar, you are Janaka. Ashtavakra is your Guru Tattva. From inside, your consciousness only is giving you the Brahma Gyan, because the Brahma Gyan is in your conscious, is the self conscious. So from there, you are receiving it, download. Okay. So you are Janaka. That's what I said in today's session. This is how we practice all these scriptures step by step in depth. We are not objectively learning it, we are subjectively sitting there and learning. So it's a difference between reading and just knowing the details of it. Anyways, I think it's late. Oh, it's 11:15. We'll end the session with a small prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. Stay blessed, everybody.